Saturday, the 1st of July 2023. Welcome to the main news on Camnet TV. To present it, my name is Marco Kozi. First, we take a look at the stories making the headlines. MUNGU residents of KAFUE district demand for water. Cotton Development Trust at the verge of collapsing. President HICHILEMA tells of his critics. In international news, a road accident in Kenya kills at least 51. And in sports news, Copper Queens coach picks lessons from Switzerland draw. For details of these and other stories, join us shortly after this break.
On Monday, 3rd July 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guests, Mr. Brebda Changala, political activist.
We are not swimming ashore. If we are not careful, we might sink.
And Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
So it's a serious matter of worry.
As they discuss concerns of human rights in Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now the main news in detail. Residents of Lusaka's Chawama compound have bemoaned the lack of seriousness from the Lusaka City Council in maintaining the drainages. They tell Camnet News that the purported council officers have been requesting them to pay 20 kwacha each in view of cleaning the drainages, when in fact not. The residents are appealing to the Lusaka City Council to come up with to up their game, as the drainages risk becoming breeding grounds for diseases. Meanwhile, area member of Parliament Tasila Lungu says the residents need to collaborate with the council officers in ensuring that the drainages in the constituencies are well maintained. Here's a report.
While they act as shields against natural disasters such as flooding, the challenge of maintaining drainages nationwide is rampant. These are residents of Lusaka's Chawama compound who are living in fear that their drainages, especially in Snow White area, are untied. They have bemoaned the non-presence of the city mothers, Lusaka City Council, to carry out their routine cleaning and maintenance of the drainages. The residents explained to this journalist that they have been subjected to paying 20 kwacha each by persons purporting to be Lusaka City Council officials for cleaning, when in fact not. They are wondering why the Lusaka City Council has not come to their rescue to address the situation.
Okay. Twatandiza utazitoka kwa tipe wiki bakilinamu pe wiki bakilinamu. Tima zikilinira teka. Bakanso kulibepa mene bachita kuno kulibe sibabwera ko no bwerako. Stiziba na kanso ngailiko ngasima chita exist pa kuno stiziba. Muli doti umolokolera ikabwera nipo chizafa banamba.
Meanwhile, Area Member of Parliament Tasila Lungu says residents need to cooperate with the council and have a mindset change towards maintaining various structures in the area.
I said, we cannot leave this job 100% to the council. It's the job of the councils to make sure that these communities are clean. But I've been a councillor before, and I sympathize with Lusaka City Council. It's not easy to keep Chawama clean, or any other township in this city of Lusaka. You can go, I'm sure you can go to Kanyama, you'll have the same issues. But anyway, that's not the point to say that Kanyama is also not clean. That's not the point that I'm trying to make, or any other constituency for that fact. I would just like to urge the community of Chawama and the citizens, the residents of Chawama, that we need to keep Chawama clean. It's a very, very tough situation that we have with our residents, where they throw garbage anyhow. It's a tough time for Lusaka City Council. And I think instead of condemning and blaming each other, let's come to the table, give each other ideas. We've been cleaning the communities. I know that it's not enough, but it's a tough job to keep that community clean.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Some residents of MUNGU area in KAFUE district have complained of a lack of water, which has been forcing them to travel long distances in search of the commodity. One of the affected residents, Sarah Zulu, has since called on the district leadership to consider using part of the Constituency Development Funds, CDF, to construct boreholes in the area to address the challenge. Meanwhile, KAFUE Mayor Bumba Malambo says her office is working tirelessly to ensure that water is taken to rural parts of the district.
Water is at the core of sustainable development and is critical for socio-economic development, energy and food production, health ecosystem, and for human survival. According to the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation by the year 2030 is far from being a reality in Zambia, as most rural parts of the country still have no access to clean water. MUNGU area in KAFUE district is one such area which has no clean drinking water, forcing residents in this area to walk long distances in search of the commodity. The residents here now wants the KAFUE District Council to consider allocating some resources under the Constituency Development Funds to bring water to the area.
Manzi yakumwa tivutika mwandi bazoona tapa manzi mumulonga na mwena kambira paja tseke dango tulipeleka ripoti kwa otandizira kulipe sati tandizira we na kliniki yatu ija makomboka pena kukaenda kuja upeza ati monga sande sasewenzera ati pa kliniki patu paja pa Mungu pa sande siwasewenza nani watu abaota ena tuwale so yesa ko mi Friday no isa ni yesa ko pa Tuesday for fin.
And KAFUE Council Chairperson Bumba Malambo, when contacted, says most parts of KAFUE have been experiencing water challenges and says our office is working tirelessly to resolve the matter and ensure that all the rural parts have clean drinking water.
It's a challenge of water in KAFUE, but we are trying our best as a council, and also in partnership with Lusaka Water and in partnership with the Ministry of Water and Sanitation to ensure that not just Shikoswe and other areas are piped, but the people of Kalundu also who are buying water at the moment. And yet the big pipe passes in their area. So we've been trying to engage the ministry to say, as the people of Lusaka are accessing our water, please, even the people where the pipes are passing, let them also have access to water. Plans for water in the rural areas, it's in the CDF we have a lot of boreholes. Even in the council budget we have a lot of boreholes, because obviously piped water that side it requires the ministry itself to come in on board and do one or two things in terms of supplying piped water. But as a council, we have in our budget some boreholes.
More still needs to be done if Zambia is to really attain its vision of becoming a middle prosperous income country by the year 2030. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Some residents of Lusaka involved in metal fabrication and welding have lamented following the adjustment of electricity tariffs by ZESCO. Their businesses have gone down. They explained to Camnet News that consideration during the adjustment of electricity for 2023 to 2027 should have been given to businesses that rely on electricity for their operations. Meanwhile, Zambia Association of Manufacturers President Ashu Saga wonders why the burden of ZESCO's inefficiency has been transferred to the manufacturers. Here's a report.
On April 21st, 2023, the Energy Regulation Board approved the adjustment of electricity tariffs for the year 2023 to 2027. According to the ERB, the adjustment in tariffs is necessary to ensure ZESCO continues to operate in a financially sustainable manner. The board's review suggests that the power utility has been struggling to make ends meet, and adjusting the tariffs will help to close the gap between its costs and revenues. On the other hand, for many households, the adjustment means a real increase in their monthly electricity bills, but what is the impact on businesses that rely on electricity? These are metal fabricators who have expressed mixed feelings about the adjustment.
So profit fixed. Munga saluni, welding, chani. But they put otherwise, profit in own. Tifutika, in short.
Watu avast benefit sana kulipe kwa benefit wa like my superior was said that passé mon level kulipe vinachi but tobacco but il passé mon level boss marai production can passé mon level otherwise change in industry.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Association of Manufacturers President Ashu Sagar argues that in the long term the tariff adjustment could help to improve the efficiency of the electricity sector, but says the tariff adjustment is a short-term solution to a long-term problem and wonders why manufacturers have to pay the price of ZESCO's inefficiencies.
Electricity tariffs do affect us, right? And the fact that we're increasing the electricity tariffs is going to affect us. But it also, we need to grow and we need to have a balance between the manufacturing sector and the suppliers of electricity. How do you encourage investment in the electrical sector? Yes, there has to be a possible adjustment to the tariff, but maybe not to the extent that we've had. On the other side, is ZESCO efficient? Why should manufacturing sector pay for inefficiencies in ZESCO, for example, if they're there? And the cost of service study has asked for these things to be addressed. So when we look at increasing a tariff, we must also look at reducing costs of the service provider. Now, if that is addressed publicly and transparently, manufacturers, I don't think, will have a problem. If we are going to encourage new investment in energy, yes, we are aware that there has to be some adjustment in the tariff, but not maybe to the extent we are having.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR, says Zambia is not likely to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals #1 and #2 by the year 2030. Organization Programs Manager Edward Musosa says climate disaster coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic has pushed more people into poverty, while government's response to address the challenge has been inadequate. Mr. Musosa says the prices of food and essential commodities have also increased, as observed by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR. He says following the debt restructuring process that Zambia has reached with the official creditors, the government should consider allocating more resources to social sectors as a way to fight poverty. Sustainable Development Goal #1 and #2 speak to ending poverty to zero hunger by 2030.
Our assessment, therefore, when it comes to goal #1, which goal #1 and 2, which looks at ending poverty and hunger respectively, is that as a country we are unlikely to meet the targets that were set out in the Sustainable Development Goals because of various factors, including the COVID-19, which has pushed people further into poverty and vulnerability. But even before COVID-19, our country was experiencing climate disasters, which mostly was also affecting rural communities. And as we are aware, extreme poverty is more prevalent in the rural areas. Thirdly, the government's response to these disasters, which have exacerbated the situation of poverty, has been inadequate. It's only over the past 2 years that we've seen this progressive increase, for example, in allocations to social protection, increase in the coverage or beneficiaries of those who are going to receive social protection or social assistance from government. But does that mean that there is no hope? we feel as CSPR that there is hope, there is an opportunity, especially now as a country when we are beginning to restructure our debt. How do we then utilize the resources that will remain for expenditure on social sectors towards poverty reduction? We therefore need to see the social protection budget, if not double, but significantly increase.
Magoe constituency member of parliament Mwemba Malambo says the Cotton Development Trust in Magoe is at a verge of collapsing as it is in a dilapidated state and unable to produce. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Malambo says Cotton Trust is one of the biggest industry producing cotton seed and that it was established by the government to help develop technology to improve the cotton sector, which it is failing to do. Mr. Malambo has since appealed to government to take keen interest in what is happening at the Cotton Development Trust so as to revamp the industry. He says this will allow farmers to have quality cotton seed and technology which will help in giving farmers high cotton yields.
Houses one of the biggest industries that is generating the seed for the farmers, which is Cotton Development Trust. The Cotton Development Trust was established by government to help develop technology in the cotton sector. Now, this institution is getting dilapidated every day. They are unable to produce anything at the moment. And I want to appeal to the government to take keen interest in the developments that are happening at Cotton Development Trust so that we can be able to rekindle the glory that we had under the cotton industry. Once that industry is revamped, it will ensure that the farmers will have quality seed. Not only quality, they will also have technology, that which they can be able to apply to ensure that they produce a lot of cotton. As you are aware, cotton is labor intensive, but if you don't have this technique that's supposed to help you produce high yields per hectare, surely if the government doesn't come on board, that industry is going to die.
President Hakainde Hichilema has urged those criticizing his government over the debt restructuring deal to keep quiet because they are the ones who put the country in an economic distress. Speaking when he addressed Ndola residents who came to welcome him at Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe Airport Saturday morning, the president says the country had a python which constricted it in attaining economic development, which has since been removed. The head of state said the debt restructuring was complicated, but that through the support of the people of Zambia, his administration has managed to restructure the debt with the help of the creditors. Meanwhile, President Hichilema has urged Zambians to work hard and improve the country's economy following the restructuring of the debt. President Hichilema has wondered why able-bodied people have continued to beg for alms instead of working.
But now with this position we are, which we have delivered ahead of many countries in America, in Asia, in Africa, chalo chenu nomba ni number one. Ni number one. Nomba babalela nda fimbi eba letere python munganda. Tebambiyo. Nomba bale kwato muchinshi panono. Bale kwata insoni panono. Insoni ebuntu tebyo. Insoni eshani. Nomba waleta python munganda insoka. Yatampo okusuma abana. Umbya isa aifumya. Inani ubombele bwino apo. Muleta sha. Nga mwaona ule fintu bambi bale bikapa mu fintu mwaona wile. Muleta sha. Ngata mlevo okutasha kulolesha fye mwaikala tondolo. Abena Ndola, abena Kopala, abena Zambia. Inshita yakubomba nomba. Tubombeshe. Let us work hard not kwikala and you expect fisuma. Yo, let's go and work. You are a student, focus on education. But we must work in papa to see people able-bodied. But if you tantamene, number yala fuma kwisa.
A Copperbelt-based clergyman has called on President Hakainde Hichilema to consider visiting towns on the Copperbelt that have been badly hit due to reduced production levels at the Konkola and Mopani copper mines. Pastor Charles Chilesha, a KAFUE resident, says as president is in Ndola to officially open the trade fair, he should take some time to visit towns such as Kitwe, Chingola, Chidirabombwe and Mufurila to see how people are suffering as a result of the challenges at the two mining firms. Pastor Chidesha says people are suffering and that there is need to urgently reach a conclusion on the way forward with regards to the two mines in the same way government has reached a debt restructuring deal with the creditors. He says when people speak, they really know what is happening on the ground and how they are negatively being affected.
The President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, welcome to the Copperbelt province as we grace this year's trade fair. We also want to use this opportunity to appreciate you for managing to reach the debt restructuring goal with these huge creditors that we owe as a country. We also pray that God will continue keeping you and protecting you and giving you longevity and more wisdom. We, however, pray that you too may take advantage of your visit to tour some of the communities on the Copperbelt, especially where Mopani as well as KCM sit, because these are highly affected and beset with problems due to the non-functional of Mopani as well as KCM. We also pray thee, Your Excellency, that you may unlock Mopani and KCM. People are really suffering on the Copperbelt.
A Special Forces recruited candidate has died after he collapsed during the mandatory medical military requirement run in Ndola. Elisha Daka, 21, was pronounced dead upon arrival at one Commando Unit Camp Hospital where he was rushed. And Zambia Army Commander Lieutenant General Dennis Alibuzwi is saddened with the death of one of the Special Forces recruitment candidate in Ndola. He says the Army will, however, continue to enforce all necessary standards to ensure the safety and the well-being of all candidates participating in the recruitment process. And in a media statement issued by Zambia Army spokesperson Colonel Martin Liyungu, Mr. Daka's elder sister has since been informed. Colonel Liyungu has also advised shortlisted candidates not to force themselves to attend the interviews if they are not feeling well, but wait for another opportunity in the near future or apply for employment in organizations which do not demand or for physical and mental challenging activities. On that note, we take a commercial break, but still ahead, we have more news. Don't go away.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets.
housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
On Monday, 3rd July 2023 on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guests, Mr. Brebda Changala, political activist.
We are not swimming ashore. If we are not careful, we might sink.
And Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
So it's a serious matter of worry.
As they discuss concerns of human rights in Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Kabwata Member of Parliament Andrew Tengwa has condemned the Lusaka City Council LCC for issuing trading licenses on a land owned by another person who has legitimate titles issued by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources at Lubamba Market. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Tengwa says the Lusaka City Council, in the first place, should not have issued the trading licenses to the traders who have not been told to vacate the land by the owner. He says he has engaged the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on the matter, who have directed that the traders should vacate the said land if at all they do not have title to it. Last month, traders in Lusaka's Kamwala market protested after they were told to vacate the said land. Here's a report.
Piece of land at this part of Lubamba Market in Lusaka, behind Big Moses shops in Kamwala, has continued to attract the attention of members of the general public after these shop owners were told to vacate the land and have their shops demolished, as it is believed that the shops were built on land whose title is held by a suspected foreign national. These Over 300 traders have vowed that they will not leave the place as the Lusaka City Council issued them with trading licenses. But area member of parliament Andrew Tayengwa has condemned the Lusaka City Council for issuing trading permits on a titled land and says his office has hands tied on the matter.
You see, the seed piece of land where these traders are actually claiming that it belongs to them, it was actually given in 2014. That's when the title deed was issued. And if you have the history of that trading place, you understand that most of those guys who are occupying the place, most of them, they got their offer letters in 2018. And basically, I even have issues with the council why they would have to actually go ahead and issue an offer letter on top of the title deed. It doesn't actually make any sense for somebody just to come and issue an offer letter on top of a title.
He adds that the matter has also been reported to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, who have also agreed that the shops be demolished.
I did actually engage the Minister of Local Government, who actually said that the issue of those marketeers, if they do not have any documentation to prove that that land belongs to them, then definitely the law has to take its own course. And Lusaka City Council, I'm sure they should be moving on site. The land in question belongs to somebody who obtained title.
Land allocation seems to continue being a problem in the country, and those tasked with the responsibility to issue licenses, such as the local authority and the Ministry of Lands, seem not to be coordinating in the manner in which they issue licenses, hence contributing to many land wrangles. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has supported the formation of Savings for Change groups to 20,836 beneficiaries, members across the 16 districts in the country. This has resulted in a cumulative saving value of 37.8 million kwacha. Southern Province Agricultural Coordinator Dr. Max Jombe says the savings group have also been supported by the strengthening climate resilience of agricultural livelihood in agroecology regions 1 and 2 in Zambia Skrala project funded by Green Climate Fund. Here's a report.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has supported the formation of Savings for Change groups to 22,836 beneficiary members across the 16 districts in the country, resulting in a cumulative savings value of 37.8 million kwacha in savings. Southern Province Agriculture Coordinator Dr. Max Chombe says the savings groups have also been supported by the strengthening climate resilience of agricultural livelihoods in agroecologic regions 1 and 2 in Zambia, Skrala project funded by the Green Climate Fund. Dr. Chombe noted that the rural communities, mostly farmers, are supported by Skrala project to generate their own income at local level in a bid to sustain other alternative livelihood activities.
In the Skrala areas, our 16 districts, we have 22,836 groups that are working with us and the Ministry of Community Development under the savings group. And that translates to more than 37.8 million kwacha that these groups are saving. And
Chirundu Acting Senior Agricultural Officer John Kasunka said his district has 71 savings groups with 1,333 beneficiary members.
The farmers that are benefiting from savings group is 1,333, of which 1,066 they are females and 267 are males.
Meanwhile, Ruth Hamami says from the money she got from the savings group, She bought goats that have since multiplied.
We bought goats which have multiplied.
Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Chirundu, Southern Province.
On that note, we take another set of commercials. We have more in international and sports news. Don't go away.
On Monday, 3rd July 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guests, Mr. Brebda Changala, political activist.
We are not swimming ashore. If we are not careful, we might sink.
And Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
So it's a serious matter of worry.
As they discuss concerns of human rights in Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back, and now in international news, at least 51 people were killed in Western Kenya after a truck lost control in a busy road junction and plunged into other vehicles and businesses. The accident took place on Friday evening on the highway between the towns of Kericho and Nakuru. According to the local police, the truck lost control and rammed into 8 vehicles, several bicycles, people who were by the roadside, vendors, and other people who were on other businesses. Here is a roundup of international news.
Botswana and mining company De Beers have announced a new diamond sales deal. The new deal, concluded on Friday, gives Botswana a bigger share of rough stones from their joint venture. Botswana, a joint venture between Anglo-American unit De Beers and Botswana's government, sells 75% of its output to De Beers, with the balance taken up by state-owned Okavango Diamond Company. The new agreement covers a 10-year sales deal for Botswana rough diamond production through to 2033 and 25-year Botswana mining licenses. In March, Botswana announced it would take a 24% stake in Belgian gem processing firm HB Antwerp in a move seen as designed to loosen De Beers' grip on the country's gems. Botswana supplies 70% of De Beers' rough diamonds.
Riots in France for the 4th night running. From Marseille in the south to Lyon, Grenoble, and the capital Paris, public property, cars, and businesses looted, torched, and destroyed. The nationwide anger on the streets follows the killing of 17-year-old Nael during a police traffic stop on Tuesday. The president of France is calling for calm and says the situation has been hijacked to spread anarchy.
This is an unacceptable exploitation of the death of a teenager which we deplore. This time should all be about contemplation and respect. I strongly condemn those who are using this situation to try and create disorder and target our institutions.
That sentiment echoed by France's football team, Captain Kylian Mbappe tweeting a statement from the players appealing for calm, saying they all understand the anger, but dialogue needs to be the focus, not violence. Following hundreds of arrests already this week, hundreds more were detained overnight. The mayor of Marseille says looting and violence is unacceptable. and urged the government in Paris to send police reinforcements. A private funeral for Nael is due to be held on Saturday, as France remains a nation in turmoil. Imran Alahan, Al Jazeera.
And live now to Al Jazeera.
At least 51 people were killed in western Kenya after a truck lost control at a busy road junction and plowed into other vehicles and businesses. The accident took place on Friday evening. According to local police, the truck lost control and rammed into 8 vehicles, several motorcycles, people who were by the roadside, vendors, and other people who were on other businesses. According to figures from the National Transport and Safety Authority, at least 21,760 people were involved in road accidents last year, including 4,690 who died. Kenyan leaders, including President William Ruto, expressed their condolences after the accident. Investigations are still ongoing.
And now in sports news, Copper Queens coach Bruce Mwape says the technical bench has noted a few mistakes from Friday's draw with Switzerland at Tissot Arena. Mwape says the team would have won the match because they were leading by 3-1 in the first half, but that some mistakes kept the team from taking the game. He says the girls have shown that they are ready to take part in the World Cup and that they will make sure the mistakes are resolved. And Shiporopolo captain Barbara Banda says all the guys are working hard and that a lot has been learned from the past match. Zambia on Friday drew with Switzerland in a friendly match ahead of the World Cup scheduled for this month. Let's now take a look at this courtesy of the Football Association of Zambia.
The idea of this trip, or rather preparation, is to gauge the players and see how far we have improved. Because if we look at where we started from, we were a bit slow, but now we are picking up. But otherwise, the results could not have dampened the morale, because the way our girls are playing, it's just a few mistakes that they are making, but they can be corrected. I'm sure by the time we've got about 2 more weeks to prepare. I think all these problems that we are going through, or the mistakes that we are making, we'll be able to correct them.
It's a very good team and very experienced team. I think with this kind of friendly games, we are improving each and every day. Looking at the Island game that we played and this game, I think we have a lot of improved in so many ways. Like the mistakes that we had in the previous game, I think we've tried to correct some other mistakes in today's game. Well, this shows that we are ready, and each and every striker is working hard for us to find at the back of the net. That means we are coordinating well, and we're improving each and every day. Well, it is a very big game, so we just have to remain focused and determined, and we're hoping to get good results in the next game that we have.
Thank you so much. The girls did extremely well. I think we are so proud of them. The first round was so good, but I think that in the second round, they looked like they were getting a bit tired. But nevertheless, they did extremely well, and we are so proud of them. The organization was good, and we are hoping that as they go down to Germany, they would even do better.
The Zambia women table tennis team has qualified to the Senior African Championships, which will be held in Tunisia in September this year. This was after the women's team beat Botswana 3-1, scooping the third position after South Africa and Angola, respectively. The team manager, Martin Chewe, said the ladies put up an outstanding performance, leading to their qualification. Chewe explains that the qualification will also act as a qualifier to the World Table Tennis Championship, which will be held in South Korea in 2024. He appreciated the support received from the government, which made it possible for the larger delegation. The International Table Tennis Federation Southern African Region World Qualifiers is currently underway in Gaborone, with 7 countries participating, namely Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe. This is contained in a statement issued to the media by the Zambia's High Commissioner in Botswana, First Secretary for Press, Julia Malunga. That's it. That's all we had for the news at 19:30. But before we go, let's take a look at some of the stories that made the headlines. MUNGU residents of KAFUE district demand for water. Cotton Development Trust at the verge of collapsing. President HICHILEMA tells off his critics. And in international news, a road accident in Kenya kills at least 51. And in sports news, Copper Queens coach picks lessons from Switzerland draw. And now, before we go, we look at the Camnet verse of the day, and it comes from the book of Psalms, chapter 48, verse 14, and it reads, "For this God is our God, forever and ever. He will be our guide, even in unto death." That's it. That's all we had for the 19:30 news. Don't forget to join us for another bulletin. On behalf of the entire team, have a blessed night.